Now that Donald Trump is officially running for president again, what does that mean for other potential GOP nominees for 2024? Will Trump dominate the polls? Will he crush his Republican rivals like he did in 2016? Or is the GOP ready to move on from the still popular, yet extremely divisive former president? If somebody is going to take Trump on and to give him a real run for his money, who will that be? And what, if anything, does early polling tell us? Welcome to Political Pop Culture, where the important and the not so important issues of the day are broken down, discussed, and occasionally even mocked and ridiculed. I am your host, JP, and this is my take. So the way I see it, the questions are these. Is Trump going to dominate the polls? Do Republicans want Trump as their nominee for 2024? Who might stand against him? Who has a chance to take the nomination from him? And what are the initial polls telling us about sentiment for the 2024 race? Let's start with the most obvious, the elephant in the room, the other heavyweight in the Republican Party. That, of course, being Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. Ron DeSantis has achieved popularity unmatched by any other potential candidate, save Donald Trump himself. DeSantis has racked up win after win after win after win in the state of Florida. He has proven that solid conservative leadership is not only effective, but his state is thriving because of it. Ron DeSantis is responsible for a booming economy in Florida. He has fought to protect the rights of children and their parents. He has taken on the woke mafia, and he's refused to back down when challenged by the evil empire. He won his re-election bid by nearly 20 points. And because of his leadership, Republicans now hold every single statewide office in the state of Florida. That's the first time that's happened in over a century. The bottom line here is that Ron DeSantis is the real deal. It doesn't matter what the media says.
It doesn't matter how you feel.
It doesn't matter what his critics say.
It doesn't matter how it makes you feel.
Honestly, it doesn't matter what Donald Trump says.
It doesn't matter what you think.
Ron DeSantis is a gamer. He's a gamer, but does that mean he's got a shot against Donald Trump if he decides to run for the Republican nomination in 2024? Well, the answer to that question may lie in the answer to a couple of the other initial questions. Is Trump going to dominate the polls? And what are the initial polls telling us about sentiment for the 2024 race? The answer is that we really don't have a definitive answer. If you believe the Emerson College poll, which was released on November 19th, Donald Trump has a whopping 30-point lead over Ron DeSantis, with 55% of those polled supporting Donald Trump for the Republican nomination. Another poll released on the same day from Echelon Insights shows Trump with a 12-point lead over DeSantis, with Trump having 52% support to DeSantis's 40%. That makes things sound pretty dire for Ron DeSantis should he choose to run for the nomination in 2024, right? Well, hold on. In a Victory Insights poll of 700 likely voters that was released on November 17th, Ron DeSantis leads Trump 56 to 45%. Quinnipiac polling shows DeSantis with a slight lead at 2%, and a YouGov poll put out by The Economist shows DeSantis with a 7-point lead over Trump. What does that mean? Well, it means that Donald Trump may not be the shoo-in for the nomination that many people seem to think that he is. Now, let me put my caveat on this. I personally believe that Donald Trump, if he makes it through the primary process, he is going to get the nomination. That said, DeSantis polling this strong against Donald Trump at this stage of the game shows us that Donald Trump is not invulnerable. Now, you know who else isn't invulnerable? The like button. Hey, seriously, if you like the video, do me a favor and click on the like button. Then hit subscribe and click the notification bell too. That way, you're going to be the first to know anytime we upload new content just like this. You'll also be helping the channel by telling the algorithm to show this video to other people who might be interested. Every little bit really does help, so thank you. What about the question, do Republicans even want Donald Trump to be their nominee for 2024? Right now, the majority of Republicans are saying, hell yes, they want Donald Trump to be the nominee.
Give me a hell yeah.
Obviously, you have the MAGA wing of the Republican Party who's going to support Trump no matter what. But as a whole, Donald Trump is polling very well among Republicans, with virtually every poll showing him well above 50% in popularity. Unfortunately, that popularity does not carry over to independent voters. And of course, that was a big part of his downfall in 2020. Donald Trump may be the first person to ever lose the presidency because the opposing party disliked him to the point where they came out in droves to vote against him. Now, here's the thing. If it was just Democrats in that never Trump segment of the population, it wouldn't be that big a deal. Many voters are going to vote party line, regardless of who the candidates are. But there's always room to pull a few moderates from one side to the other. Well, I say always, but in the case of Donald Trump, that's proven to not be the case. Obviously, the more moderate segment of the Republican Party doesn't want anything to do with Trump. Now, I'm not siding with them, and I'm sure as hell not siding with the rhinos. But to ignore their concerns would be nothing short of foolish. Those concerns are valid. In 2020, Joe Biden was elected president, not because people were voting for Joe Biden, but because people were voting against Donald Trump. People's dislike for Donald Trump has not waned in the years since he left office. If anything, they hate him more now than ever. Can Trump recapture the presidency in 2024? Sure, it's possible. But it's just as likely that we see a similar result in 2024 as we did in 2020. Now, I will tell you, I think if Donald Trump and Ron DeSantis go head-to-head in a primary fight, Donald Trump comes out as the nominee. But Ron DeSantis comes out in a weaker position than he goes in. I don't believe that's good for anybody. Honestly, I would much rather see a united Republican Party, a party ready to rally around a new flag bearer, a party united in the goal of getting Biden and the Democrats out of the White House and restoring some sanity to the executive branch. I hope that Donald Trump can prove me and the other people concerned about his baggage wrong. I hope that he finds a way to reach across the aisle and find some common ground with some moderates on the Democratic side. If he can do that between now and 2024, if he can bridge that gap, then I think he can prove to the skeptics that he is, one more time, the right man for the job. There's a long way to go, and this drama is just getting started. That's my take. What's your take? You can let me know your take in the comments below. You can also let me know your take by joining the cult at PolPopCult on all major social media outlets. Thank you for listening.